We, the audience, follow Miguel, who was born into a family of shoemakers, but he wants to break away from tradition and become a musician, like his hero, Ernesto de la Cruz. Unfortunately for Miguel, his family has outlawed music for generations because his great great grandmother had her heart broken when a musician left her to go play his music for the world. And one thing leads to another, and Miguel just sort of finds himself winding up in the land of the dead, as one does. And he'll end up trapped there forever if he can't get his great great mother's grand blessing in time. So Miguel must get back to the future. I mean, back to the land of the living. Yeah. So Disney decided to precede this film with a Frozen Christmas short that was 20 minutes long, and I want to talk about it. I could talk about it for a long time, but I'm just going to save everyone some time because you're going to have to sit through it if you want to see Coco, and I would recommend that you do because I loved it. Like a lot of Pixar movies, the trailers looked kind of dumb to me, but I learned a long time ago not to judge Pixar movies by their trailers because they lie to me. First three looked so good, wasn't? Anyway, in some areas, I thought that Coco was just a nice family film. I wouldn't really call this a musical as far as the singing songs go, not the score of the film. But there's a decent amount of singing music in it. But none of it really got stuck in my head after the movie. I never felt like I wanted to rush out to the theater and buy the soundtrack like I did with Frozen. Talk about the short. Don't talk about the short. Don't talk about the short. Don't talk about. But I didn't think it was bad either. I never wanted to plug my ears or look away, cringe away from the screen because I thought the movie was embarrassing itself. I think that my lack of real musical knowledge is preventing me from really like describing why I felt the way I did about the song. So mileage will probably vary on there, but I thought it was fine. It was good. It was solid. Yeah, there we go. The plot outside of taking place in the land of the dead wasn't super original. It drew a lot of Book of Life comparisons when the first trailers were coming out, and it's not that. It's not the Book of Life at all. But it's still not the most original thing in the world. But Pixar is Pixar, and they did do some things that I really, really liked and put this movie ahead of some movies like Monsters University or Finding Dory, which I thought were a little more run of the mill for Pixar. We're bad. Just didn't think they were, you know, Toy Story, Toy Story 3, or Toy Story 2. The characters really redeemed a lot of the predictability of the plot for me. You don't spend a lot of time with Miguel's living family, but I thought they did enough in the opening minutes for you to really create your own identity for each of the family members and understand what makes them each unique people. I especially liked one detail where when Miguel tells his family that he wants to become a musician, one of his family members is like polishing the bottom of a shoe or something on a grindstone. I don't really know how you make shoes, but he's like grinding it on a stone when until he gets surprised and lets it fly up into the ceiling off the stone. When you see the ceiling, there's five or six other shoes up there, and it just lets you kind of be like, yeah, this guy, he's clumsy with those shoes. You see a bit more of his dead ish family, especially his great great grandmother. And I really liked how they showed, how she was and how she changed after her husband left her. Miguel spends most of the movie with a man named Hector, who, of course, when you meet him, is just a down on his luck guy who's just scraping by in the land of the dead. But of course, there's more to him, and I like the story that they gave behind how he ended up where he is and where his character goes. You could certainly say that the characters aren't exactly the most nuanced or complicated characters, but I thought they were all, entertaining and pretty easy to relate to, which I guess is kind of what I'm looking for in a film like this. And there's a dog, but by far the biggest, most absolutely amazing thing about this film was it's so pretty. Look at this. It's so colorful. Like, what's up here in the corner? It's like, what? There's the bridge here and like the floating house there. And it's like, there's houses all the way back there. How did they get there? I don't know. Like, what's the dog? What? Oh, where do I even start? I mean, the opening of the film, they show lace decorations that have been put up for the Day of the Dead celebrations. And you hear an opening narration as what's being said is played out on the lace designs. It was just like, oh my God, it was so cool. And the Land of the Dead itself was just like, "Wha" when people walk over the Miracle Bridge, I mean, you see the some of the petals move as they walk by, and it glows underneath their footsteps. And when they enter the Land of the Dead, they have to go through, customs and declare anything they're bringing back from the land of the living. And there's a little security thing. And I just thought that was really funny. The city itself is just so vibrant and full of life. I mean, like I wanted to live there or die there or what? And then they have these spirit animals, which are again so colorful, and their designs were so cool. I mean, look at this thing. It's a flying giant jaguar with horns. I want one. And I don't really know how to play the guitar, but when the characters did it in the film, it looked pretty realistic to me. And I know that must have taken a lot of effort. And I just thought that everything looked so incredible and was amazingly detailed, and it's hard for me not to appreciate the hard work that must have gone into every little thing. And I loved the way that they incorporated the Day of the Dead traditions into the Land of the Dead itself. It's amazing. Overall, like I said, I loved this movie. I thought it was great. Definitely think kids will like it. It wasn't too long. I thought the jokes were good, and it has nice messages about family and staying true to yourself. But I also think it goes above and beyond that in a lot of ways. And I thought that, the humor was that good, and there's enough parts that I think adults and people who aren't necessarily the target audience can take some good things away from it as well and enjoy the movie. So if you get a chance, I really hope you can go check out Coco. It's one to die for.